Grenade by Alan Gratz. Part 2, pages 244 through 246. Over the line. A Japanese machine gun blared behind them. Choo-choo-choo-choo-choo-choo-choo. And one of the American soldiers right in front of Hideki went down. There were screams, shouts, and then Americans were shooting back. The big bear man's rifle boomed right over Hideki's head. Choo-choo-choo, choo-choo-choo-choo-choo-choo. Hideki ducked behind one of the logs in the road, shielding Kazu with his body. His sister and Masako and all the other children dove for cover too. They were safe from the firestorm, from the monsters at each other's throats. Bullets tore into the trees at their backs, and a grenade exploded a few yards beyond them, in the heart of the American camp. Hideki threw his hands over his head and prayed to his ancestors to see him safely through. Beside him, the big bear man dropped down to reload his enormous rifle and pull out a grenade of his own. "Ray?" the big soldier said, and Hideki looked up. The bear man, with the missing ear, was looking around like there was somebody else there whom neither of them could see. Hideki knew that feeling all too well. The big soldier looked down at Hideki and frowned. Did he recognize Ray's Mabui on Hideki? Could he? The big soldier shook off whatever it was he was feeling, pulled the pin on his grenade, and stood to throw it. Another American soldier hurried up to Hideki. This soldier had no weapon, and he was wearing a white armband with a red cross on it. Hideki recognized the armband as the same one the doctors at the camp had worn, and he gratefully handed off Kazu to the man. Then Hideki followed along, crouching as he ran. Behind him, more soldiers with red crosses on their armbands pulled Kimiko and Masako and the other children away. Bullets still flew and grenades still exploded, but Hideki wasn't afraid anymore. He knew they would be all right now. In the camps, away from the battlefield, the Americans would be human again, and Hideki and Kimiko and the other Okinawan children would get the food and water and medical attention they required. There was only one thing Hideki still needed, but for that, the Americans couldn't help him. For that, he needed a Yuta.